business for that specific amount of time.
Yeah.
So that's something to take into consideration too. But if you're starting off small, it might not be worth it. But in the long run, you have to just stop thinking about it as a hobby and really do start understanding that what you're doing as if you're opening a meadery is actually running a business. And if the business is not making money or your margins are all screwed up, then it's just not going to go anywhere. And your passion, you might end up losing your passion for it because of all the trials and tribulations you're going to put yourself through.
Yeah. Well, I think a good chunk of it, too, is also there's a tipping point, quantity and size-wise, that you get to where you either go big or go home, which is what David said.
Yes.
There's a point beyond which it becomes cost ineffective to not do this.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, and that's what, because I know there's a lot of bitty little meaderies that are kicking butt and taking names, but they're growing slow, but they're growing, but you kind of took the whole go big, you kind of went all Jersey on the thing. He did. He just came on going, I'm just going to go all Jersey on this mofo. And he's just out of there, And it was so funny to watch.
Damn it.
Because he really did. He just, he just kind of went totally nuts. I mean, I remember when we talked, when you first opened, you were just like, yeah, I'm just totally all over this. And you were.
Yeah, and another thing I always put out there, which is the way I felt confident in my product. And if you feel confident in your product, then just go for it. Do as much as you can. Start up as big as you could afford, in the beginning. But whatever you think you want to start off at, start a little bigger. Because it's always more expensive to buy more tanks, or it's going to cost you a lot more money too, to get, bigger tanks and bigger equipment or whatever else you need. And from the get-go, if you start off bigger, you got that room to grow, essentially.
Yeah.
But, I took the go big or go home approach. I was confident in my product. There's no other meadery in New Jersey, and I really felt I could kind of really create the market for it. So, I just went full force ahead. But, and even going to the filtration thing, I'm not saying that you need to filter either. You use clarifying agents, or if you really want to be patient, you can wait until your mead settles out and then, stabilize it with potassium metabisulfate and sorbate. But, that's what I did at first. I wasn't filtering anything at first. And, but if you're gonna go the waiting game, waiting for your mead to clear on the commercial scale,
time money.
You're losing money there too.
Yeah.
Every
help
day
you,
it's
man.
not in a
It's,
bottle out the door. You're costing yourself money. So yeah, it's a balancing act.
Yeah. So I've done everything I could do to not necessarily be able to turn around mead as fast as possible. And just almost just worked out that way between Tosna and filtering. I could get a 3-week. Oh, perfect example. Melovino won 5 medals at the major commercial competition this year.
Congratulations.
3 out of those. Thank you. 3 out of those 5 medals, 3 of those meads rather, were less than 2 months old.
Nice.
Yeah, and the only reason the other 2 probably weren't that young is one came out of a barrel that was aging in a bourbon barrel, and the other one was like an older, already bottled mead that I pulled out of the back, basically. So for anybody who says you can't make great mead in under a month or 2 months or 3 months, it's like I got some medals to show you.
Yeah, I always want to do a. I call it doing a Denozo, the NCIS slap upside the head. I always wanted Denozo people to go, you can't make good mead without time. It's like, yeah, I can. You just got to know what you're doing and follow the protocols to see that it happens. It doesn't have to take forever.
Yeah, I mean, the bombs prove that to me.
Too, and on the other side of things, I'm also not saying that it doesn't get better with time either.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
But you can make really great, excellent mead right out the door. I mean, I've talked to Mike Fall about it. I think he's the only meadery that I really know that makes like your standard strength, 12-14% alcohol mead in 3 to 4 weeks. And that tastes incredible and wins awards.
And he's been doing it for over 20 years now. Like out of the gate, he's doing that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be done, and, yeah, look how long Rabbit's Foot Meadery's been in business, and the acclaim that they get as a meadery.
He did like you did. I mean, he came out of the gate full blast, and I remember when he was buying equipment, and people were like, "Are you knucking futz, man?" You know, I mean, they were just like, "Oh my God, you're just going to fall flat on your face," which is much the same kind of reaction you got when you bought that bottling line, if I remember correctly. And, you know, it was, people were like, you know, standing back in both equal parts horror and desire, going, I really want one of those, but he's just nuts to go spend that kind of money, you know. And you know, but sometimes, you know, it doesn't always pay off. I know people who've done similar things and crashed and fallen flat on their faces. You have to have the infrastructure and the marketing and sales plan to support that. But you did, and he did. And, you know, like you say, he's been out there. Look at that. He's, you know, he and Brad basically trade off the crown every other year or so. And, you know, for biggest meadery in the country. So he's, you know, he's doing it right.
Yeah, I've had a few conversations with Mike, and I think he really likes me. He might not admit it, but I think he likes me. Because I think he kind of sees like the same go-getter, go big or go home kind of thing.
Get him, okay, next Mazer Cup, just show up with a really good bottle of scotch. And
I'm a scotch guy too. Yeah.
Right, okay, when the Irish starts to come out, and you'll know it when it happens, then you'll know whether he likes you or not.
Yeah,
because you know, in vino veritas, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to do that with him and John Bryans from Monroe, and the three of us would just sit around and drink whiskey and, you know, shoot the breeze. This is back in the previous incarnation of the competition. So, but well, listen.
But, you can make it work, man.
I know you
can make it work in that short amount of time, man. I think Brad, when I put a post up on Facebook that I just ordered a crossflow system, I think at that point, Brad from B-Nectar was just like, dude, do you have a trust fund or something?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he said something to that effect, actually.
Oh, yeah, my response was, you best trust my mead self.
Yeah, that's my trust fund, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But, yeah, if you're confident in your product, you don't have to turn around mead in 3 to 4 weeks. You don't have to filter your mead. I mean, I'm not telling anybody to do any of that, but I'll tell you, on the commercial scale, if you're at that tipping point where it makes sense, it's worthwhile, because if you have X amount of gallons of tank capacity and it takes you 3 to 4 months to turn around a batch versus 3 to 4 weeks, think about how many more times you could fill those same amount of tanks that year. You know, it actually saves you money, essentially, because you don't need bigger tanks, you don't need more tanks. You can literally fill the same tank capacity that you have, just more times per year.
Yep, and that turnover creates more profits, which gives you more that you can put back into the meadery, which that was one of your big successes, was that you kept sinking your profits back into the company and using that to grow.
Yeah.
You know.
And if anybody thinks I'm filthy rich, I am broke. I am broke. Every penny is literally right back into the company. Every single penny. Yeah. It's it's a passion. It's something you believe in. You just keep putting back into it. I think I finally, after this crossflow, I think we're finally at a point where, you know, we've gotten bigger tanks, we've gotten the bottling line, we've got our crossflow. Those are kind of like our bucket list items, and everything we'll need to really like kick ass and take names moving forward. And you know, I think we finally at least reached that point. Now it's just kind of like rebuilding, you know, building that cushion bank back up in the bank account and just saying, all right, here we go. Now let's start over, right? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, look, dude, we've kept you for like an hour and a half, or 2.5 hours, rather, which is way long. But gosh, it's been great to have you back, and thank you so much for stepping up at such short notice. I really appreciate it, saving me from my own foolishness. I'm
always up for talking meat. So
I know,
no
right?
problem.
And it's always fun to have you on because, you know, I mean, you're so into the making of it, and that's always a lot of fun to talk about. So don't worry, you will be back again, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
In the meantime, happy 2nd anniversary, and, you know, congrats, dude. never a doubt in my mind, but I'm really glad to see you get here.
Yeah, thanks. No, I appreciate that.
So, all right, well, drink one for me and save me a bottle of that Braggot when it comes out, and I'll find some way to get it. Maybe I'll drive to Jersey. Who knows?
All right, cool. Sounds good.
All
right. Sounds good. All right, nice being on the show again.
All right, Sergio. Thanks a lot, man.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Right.
Bye.
No.
Good night, Sergio. Good night.
Wow.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of good information to think about.
Always is. Sergio is, Sergio just is always, he's always thinking about this stuff. He's doing a lot of good stuff, so it's always good to have him on here. We're gonna want to get him back on here when they finish doing this stuff with that mead, or the mead yeast that he's working on. I want to see the meads that come out of that. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, we can definitely have him on as a yeast guest.
Totally. So, well, let's get the rest of the stuff out of the way and let people get on with their lives here, because they're all probably sitting at home going, I gotta go to the bathroom. All right. So that was a ton of fun. All right, upcoming stuff we've got. Mace Meadworks at macemeadworks.com is having live music every Saturday night. They're in Dayton, Washington. Go check them out at their website and find out what they've got coming up. Brothers Drake Meadery is also doing ongoing concert events, and if you go to their website, you can see that. St. Ambrose Cellars has their Crush Party coming up September 10th at 4 p.m., and if you go to facebook.com/St. Ambrose Cellars, you can look at their events and see the party information and how you can go. It should be a lot of fun. They are actually a winery and a meadery, and they've got some really fantastic wines as well as some extremely excellent meads. So if you haven't been, you really need to go. They have a garden out back with like both modern and ancient beehives, which was really cool when I visited there. I've got some pictures. I got to finish writing my article and put it up
cool.
on the website. Yeah, they've got a beehive there that's the old triangular sort of the beehive shape. And
okay.
and it had an active swarm in it. It was really cool. The California Master Beekeeping course is coming up September 11th and 18th. Hit the gotmead.com page for this episode, and there's a link there where you can go straight to it. And we have the Texas Mead Fest coming up on September 24th. That is at texasmead.org. And just click the link for Mead Fest, and that is a lot of fun. There's, I think, 8 meaderies at that, so it's a definite must-do if you are in or near Texas. Obviously, big state, but hey, it's a Mead Fest. Why not go? Upcoming guests, we've got 3 more episodes in this cycle, and then we're going to take a 2-week break for all of us to go off and do whatever it is that we do when we're not here. September 13th, we're going to be talking with John Harris from Harris Meadery. This is a new one, just opened their doors, and we're really looking forward to seeing what they're up to. September 20th is Hierophant Meadery with Jeremy Kink. Jeremy, I hope I didn't mangle your last name too much. September 27th is Honey Run Mead with Amy Hasley, and we're going to be talking, of course, with Back to Basics with them as well, and different types of mead. So definitely tune in next week and the weeks after for the rest of this month to see what we've got in store for you. We'll be here again next Tuesday night, same bat time, same bat channel at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for another episode of Got Mead Live. So say goodnight, gang.
Good night, gang.
Good night, gang.
Say goodnight, Vicky.
Good night, Vicky. So take it easy, folks, and we will talk with you next week. Night.